having permission to all the site collections. So in that case, for that particular site collection, when you are trying to pull data through server object model, it will throw access denied error. Okay. To avoid that, they have introduced a concept called run with the elevator privilege. Okay. If you write code inside that, I'll show you that code. You can see what we used to do. Now, first we write sp site equal to new sp site of. Then from the site object we'll get sp web object, right? So this entire part we will be writing inside run with elevator privilege. Okay, this will be the first line. sp security dot run with elevator privileges of. This is the one line we need to mention. Okay, if we
Okay.
mention it, uh, the particular code what we have written inside this run with elevator privilege will run using system account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how it works they may ask. Run with elevator privileges runs with the system account, so we won't get access denied error message. Okay.
Okay.
This is the one question they will ask in server object model. There is one more question, system object, system update. Okay. Update list item. Directly. See, uh, this is the way they will be updating. Okay, they will get the list item. In that list item, percentage complete. They have given 45%, and the process would be that item dot update of. Okay, this is
Okay.
the way they will be updating the list item. Okay, so if we update it, whoever running the code, their name will be added in the modified and modified by name.
Yeah.
Modified by. Okay. Say for example, you are running a console application. That console application is updating some columns in SharePoint list. Okay, so in that case, your name will be there in all the list items. Okay, so you may want to avoid this. You don't want modified. You don't want to change modified and modified by names. Okay, in that case, we
Okay.
need to use uh, to avoid and modify name. modify date. Use system update. Okay. Where to use in the at the bottom, whatever the item we are updating, we will be giving item dot update of this method we will call. Okay, instead of update of, we need to give system update of. Okay, system update set point. See, update, we used to update all the values in SharePoint listed, including modified date and modified by version field SPA. System update is used to values of the list item without modifying the modified date and modified by version fields. Okay, this is the difference. Update system update. Okay,
Okay.
SP list item that update up by default it will be there. We need to give system update to stop updating modified and modified by. Okay, and there is concept called LINQ. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I have heard about it. I
Okay.
don't have any knowledge on this.
LINQ also something like to apply filters with SharePoint list. We can use instead of SharePoint list. Sorry, instead of camel query, we can use LINQ query. Okay, LINQ. Okay, you just go through it. Okay, you don't need to spend much time on it in the LINQ. Okay, you need to know, they may ask, have you used LINQ or camel? Okay, you can say I used camel most of the time. Okay, why you prefer camel instead of LINQ means LINQ by default convert into camel query, will be converted to camel query. So for better performance, we are going with camel query. Okay, you can use LINQ, but even if you use LINQ, that by default it will convert into camel query. So instead of giving that time to that code, we can directly write camel query. Right? This is one of the disadvantages of using LINQ. If you ask advantage, there are options like few options available in LINQ which are not available in camel query. Few options like group by are available only in LINQ. Okay. LINQ query, it will be like this only, list hidden field and include, like, so when you find time you go through it, or else it's not mandatory. Okay, LINQ and all nowadays no one is majorly using. Okay, you know the concept, how it works and what it is. Okay, this is enough about LINQ. Any doubt till now?
No.
No? Okay. Then we'll go to client object model. Okay. So have we discussed difference between client object model and server object model?
We have discussed some.
Okay. Can you please recollect if you remember any of the points? Server object model versus client object model.
Server object model. This will run within the server only. For
Yeah.
client object model, it is available. We can run this anywhere,
Okay.
and it is available from the version 2010. And the server object model, Microsoft is not encouraging that.
Yes. And for SharePoint Online, we can use only client object model. Only option is this song. Why? Because the servers and all maintained by Microsoft, so we can't deploy and we can't run any code in the SharePoint servers. Okay. So there is no way we can deploy server object model in SharePoint Online. Okay. And for on-prem, we can both. But Microsoft not encouraging to deploy client object model. Sorry, server object model. Not server object model. Okay. And one more option. This client object is on to list items. Okay. Uh, this is the sample query for the client object. From here, I'll tell how it is differing from server object model. Okay. You can see first we are getting client context. So I'll copy this code. Paste it here. Okay. So in the server object model, SP site equal to new site SP site of URL will pass. This will be the first line where in the server object model where we will be getting SP site object. Okay. Here instead of site object we will be getting client context. Client context. This is something similar to the SP site only. Okay, the context of that particular web site application will be getting using client context object. Okay, and then we'll be getting web SP web equal to site dot open web. Here this is same only. You can they have directly written. You can write one more line as well, like web equal to plain context dot web. Okay, we need to write like this. You can see here. This is the class name. Here both C are capital letter, capital C, capital C. Okay, all are case sensitive. Okay, this one is the object name they have given. Here the object name is small c. Okay, don't confuse. They have given both the names as both same names. Okay, this is the class name. Here class name is capital C and capital C in both the places. Here we can give any names, context or client context. This is the object name which we are giving. Okay, so for that example, they have given small c. Okay, and you can other lines are same. Okay, we'll be getting sp list here, web.list.get by title, everything will be same. And they have written camel query. Camel query is to filter. We'll be using same kind of camel query in both the places. Okay, the only difference is these two lines. Okay, mm, in the server object model, we need to we don't need to mention this kind of load and the execute query of. Okay, uh, uh, for each line it will communicate to the SharePoint server and it will fetch. Okay, if you write SP site new site, directly it will check the SP site and it will get the object. Okay, so whereas in client object model, we are running the code in the client side. Okay, from client side we need to send the request to the server. Okay, then only server can respond to that request. Okay, that request and response are happening in these two lines only. Okay, uh, by default we need to, for all the client object model, we need to mention this load and execute query of. Okay, load, what is the purpose of the load is we are like informing the SharePoint server which item to be loaded in, which item this client object model code is needed. Okay, this is the object name. Okay, this object name what it contains, this client object queries and this camel query, all the filters it is it will contain. Okay, this object we need, so we are informing here. And execute query is the one we are executing. So everything is set what we need. Okay, this execute query is the one communicate to the SharePoint server and it will return. Okay, so these two lines are major in the developer end. These two are the difference, major difference. Okay, in server object model, we don't need to mention anything separately to execute query. Need to mention anything separate. We don't need to mention anything separately to execute. Okay. Whereas in ESOM, we need to uh, load up object, we need to mention load the object which to be available, then execute query. Okay. This for the as a developer, this is the difference. If you say, they will know you worked on both the things. Okay, this happen online, these things are basic things. Okay, anyone will say. Okay, as a developer, we need to say these two differences. Okay. In the by default, SharePoint won't give all the data to the client object model. So to mention which data the client object model code needs, that one we need to mention in the load. And execute query is the one to execute. The purpose of this is to execute that particular code. It will communicate to the SharePoint server and it will fetch data from the SharePoint server. Okay, purpose after this line only, the values will be available in this collection, this in this object. Okay, from here we can print. Okay, you can see client object list camel query. This is they will call lambda expression. Okay, lambda expression. Lambda expression in load method. Okay. Even in the previous one, you have given, so you want to load particular list item. Okay, this is the list item you want to load. If you give that means that default list item, default columns in that list item only will be loaded. Default columns in the sense, mm, if you give load of item object, it will return uh, default columns like title, created by, modified by, whatever the SharePoint level fields available, only those fields value will be returned. Okay. If you created some custom columns and you want to get value from that custom columns also, then you need to mention those columns in that uh, uh, load operation using this lambda expressions. Okay, see, this is the collection list item collections. Okay, that collection, what it should include. Okay, items, here they want to include item dot id, item dot display name is the one of the field, and item dot has unique role assignment, whether that item is has break inheritance set for that item. And then you can say this is the method. If you want to include other properties, then we need to mention it in load method using lambda. operator. This is the lambda operator. Will say using this lambda operator, we need to give this items dot include. This is the same structure. Okay, if you are having a field called item item of field called something report card. I'm giving a random name. This is the field you have created and you want this field value in the client object null. You need to give that column values. Okay, then only you can fetch in that column list items. It will be available that we can what you say we can print or we can export to Excel, whatever operation you want to do, then we can do. Or say for example, without giving, there is a field called report card. Okay, here for each item item in
Uh, if we did not use lambda query, uh,
uh,
these it will only display the default items, right?
yes,
Like the
default column,
title
title,
created
created
by
by modifier. Yes,
mm,
only
sorry.
these field values it will return. Okay, the custom fields, whatever we create, or nothing.
Mm,
Even it has unique rule, like whether inheritance broken for that list item, nothing will be displayed. Okay, if we want extra property from that list item, we need to
then
mention
we
in
need to
that
mention
lambda.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the purpose. Okay, here that's what I am here. Okay, we didn't mention report card here in. Okay, if you try to display console dot write line of item of report card but to string, no nothing to string. If you write code like this, it will throw error. Okay, the specified object is not available in the particular list item. Okay, you need to load that value, like that it will throw error. Okay, so after
So
including
if
lambda
we can
expression,
use that console dot write line in this lambda query, right?
no, here we need to mention in the load method only we need to mention, not in console.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I'm asking in the
instead
above
of
code, they are not
load,
mentioning any lambda query, right? In that load
yes, that's
expression.
what, yeah, correct.
So in that case, it is throwing error. But in the
Yeah,
below code, we can use this
yes, in this
console
case,
dot
if you
write.
mention dot use, this will print whatever the values available in the report card.
Okay.
Okay, here it will not throw error.
Yeah.
Okay, um,
Uh, we cannot run the code for server object model. We can run this
we can run for client
CSOM
object.
in Visual Studio, right?
Yes, we can run. Yes,
Can you
that
please run
I'll.
one code?
I didn't set up for that. Okay, give me some. Tomorrow I'll run the sample for you. Okay. So we need to get the we need to pass the credentials and all. Okay, give me some time. I'll set up. I didn't find time to set up that. Okay, give me some time. Tomorrow we'll run it. Okay.
Okay.
Execute query. This is P1. And there is a concept called server JavaScript object model. Okay. In the client side object model, we will be saying two ways: CSOM versus JSON. Okay. CSOM is the one we will be referring code written in client object mode, written in C#. Okay. JSON refers client object model, client object code written in JavaScript. Okay. So if we are if we are writing some client object model code directly in Visual Studio and executing, that will be saying as a CSOM. Okay. Majorly, the CSOM purpose of CSOM code would be purpose of CSOM code. We can write console application and convert into scheduler. Scheduler I told, right? In the Windows, the Windows task scheduler, we can schedule a task. Okay, that will be
Yes.
executed weekly, monthly, or daily basis. Okay, that we can
Yeah.
use the client object model. Okay, apart from that, we can we'll use this in remote event receiver, provider hosted apps. Remote event receiver, I told, right? This is the concept they have given in the from SharePoint 2013 onwards. They have given, instead of going with SharePoint object model event receiver. Uh, Microsoft given alternate option. Okay, this remote event receiver. This is something similar to the event receiver, but it will be deployed in the client side. Okay, and provider hosted apps also something similar. Uh, there is we can develop custom application in any it's not any. We can develop custom application in C Sharp, and we can host that application in any server, not SharePoint server, any Windows server, and we can give that hosted application. We can add that hosted application in SharePoint page using iframe. Okay, that we call as provider hosted apps. Okay, provider hosted hosting applications in another Windows server and adding the hosted app in iframe SharePoint page. You know what is iframe?
No.
Iframe is the you go through w3wschools.com as well. This links all the attributes available in the HTML tags. Okay, you go through and familiar with it. Okay, all the objects whatever we are using. Okay,
Okay.
if you see iframe, this is the HTML attribute only. Iframe HTML used to display web page within a web page. Say for example, in the SharePoint home page, if you want to display another site's web page, we need to use iframe tag. You can see this is the iframe tag. Here we are giving the URL which we need to display. Okay, I'll give you example function. Editor HTML. I remove all the code here. Iframe src equal to google.com. It is equal to some text. You can see that google.com Is there anything wrong with it? Okay. It is giving some error. Okay. Okay, this is what you can see here. We are trying to display Google site. Google is some other site hosted in different server. Okay, but you want to display content from Google to the particular other SharePoint site or other site. We need to use iframe tag. Okay, likewise. Okay, what I used to write in the iframe tag, we need to do src. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, in the provider, why I came here now, in the provider hosted apps, we will be creating app and we'll be hosting it in different server, Windows server. That app means that web application, we can host it, we can add it in SharePoint using iframe. Okay, you got my point?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay. Uh, one more. Okay, this one is whereas in JavaScript object model, we can we can write code in only in SharePoint page directly. We can't write here. We can write as a separate console application and we can execute, right? That we can't do. Okay, only in SharePoint page we can write JavaScript object model and we can execute it. Okay, how it will work? Is that SharePoint URL? See, in this page we have added the HTML content, right? Likewise, we can write JavaScript object model only in the SharePoint page. Okay, in the edit source, we can write tags HTML script body. Familiar with go through that w3wschools.com and familiar with this HTML tagging and CSS and all. Okay, this is the basic for everything. So even if you go with the React or Angular development, there we'll be using these tags only. Okay, just go through what is HTML tag inside, what is script tag, what is body tag. Okay. Mm, this is the body. This is the structure of the any SharePoint page, not SharePoint, any page. Okay. Inside the script, we will be writing the JavaScript query or jQuery, whatever we will be writing inside the scripts. Okay. Inside the body, we will write such one hello. You can say hello with H1 tag converted. So will e tag. E tag I'm giving here three. So you can see the difference. Okay, for each tag, how it is printing. Okay, this is the difference. When you use H1 tag, H1 tag is like header on top of any text. We need to give header means we can use H1 or H2. P tag is they will call as para tag. Okay, in the paragraph, like bunch of content you want to write means we will be using inside the P tag. Okay, so likewise, you familiar with these tags. Okay, and I'm not sure the script. So it is script and all. It is not directly taking. Okay, what we need to do now? We need to write it in separate text file. That text file links to be given here. Then only it will take. Okay, that please that will do later. Writing the JavaScript object model. Okay. So here, what I said, you familiar with all the tags in HTML and how to write query. Everything they have given in the w3schools.com. This is for basic new learners only. Okay, it will be useful for you. Okay. Uh, Red, this will be the basic, and this will be used in all the like front end development, and this will be used. You will be referring here only. Okay, whatever application you go, React, Angular, whichever application, at the end they will call this, they will mention this HTML tags only. Okay, so you have to know. Okay, you go through this code and let me know if you have any doubts in HTML and how they are writing CSS and all. CSS and all, and there we can see. For styling, we'll be using CSS. for this class, if you want to add something like background hyphen color red, so it is setting, right? So purpose of it, to design the page color white. Okay, purpose of the css is to design the page in our own way, how we want to display. html tags are to display content to. Okay, css is to design that content whatever we are doing. Okay, so three things are there. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay. HTML is, as I said, it will display content in front end. Collection of tags to display content in front end. CSS to is the it is not display. Change look and feel of content. Okay, you can fill in the sense, say in this page you want this text classic to be on center, this edit links to be removed, or edit links color of this edit links to be changed. So everything we can do
Right.
in CSS only. Okay, and JavaScript
Understood.
is to perform operations. All kind of operations. Okay, say for example, here we have written hello hello hello, right? You want to get this hello from SharePoint list and display, and you want to do some calculation. Say for example, you are adding 1 plus 1, and user is giving two inputs. Based on that, you want to display all kind of operations we will execute in JavaScript, and that output we will pass to the front end. In the sense, we will be passed to the HTML tag. That tag will print based on that operations result. Okay, to perform operations we can say JavaScript. Okay, these are it's not interview questions. I'm saying these are very basics we must know. Okay, you go through first in these three topics. Okay, there is some more thing, bootstrap and all that, so that we will cover later. Okay, bootstrap is it's something similar to css only. You don't worry about it, you first go through these three tabs. Okay, and where we left JavaScript, we can write code only in SharePoint page as I shown here. We can write a text file, and we can add only in SharePoint page. Here only we can write JavaScript object model. We can't write anywhere. Okay, and it will run only in user context. Based on this is major difference, only in user context. User context means this is I logged in. Okay, Sriram and this email ID. With this ID only, this whatever JavaScript object model code I have written, it will write. Even though say for example, you write JavaScript object model code in this page and you publish it. So when I log in, that whatever code you have written, it will execute it from my ID only, from my user ID only. You might be having full control permission and you might have done something, okay. And if I log in and I am having only read permission, means that time I'll get the access denied or whatever options available with the ID. That only it will execute. If it is that full control permission needed to run that code, means that code will throw error for my ID and this page will return error. Okay, that is the major difference. But whereas in client object model, you can pass any credentials. You can give some migration account or you can use any service account credentials you can pass and we can make it as full control. Anyone runs the application, it will return the result. Okay, but in the JavaScript object model, it will run only the end user's credentials. Okay, we need to make sure no one will get error message when they are when they are accessing the particular page. In that way only we need to write code. Okay, this is the major difference. You so when someone asks difference between CSOM and JSOM, you must mention this.
Okay.
CSOM versus JSOM, major difference. Okay. And there is one more option, synchronous versus asynchronous difference. With this, we will close for today's session. Okay. Synchronous versus synchronous versus asynchronous. Okay. So I told right. For each query at the end, for each uh, client object model code, we need to write execute query of at the bottom, right? This is the one communicate to the SharePoint server and return the result. Okay, okay. Here in client object model, client object model in the sense CSOM, we can mention execute query of or execute query async. We can mention both synchronous way or asynchronous way. Okay, but in JavaScript object model, in the JavaScript object model, we can mention only execute query async of. Only asynchronous method we can execute. What is difference between synchronous or asynchronous? Okay, if you say for example, here it will execute line by line. Client context dot load is done and client context dot execute query of this one you have written. Okay, this is synchronous call. Here till this query execute, it won't go to the next line. Okay, after completing this query execute query functionality only, it will go to the next line. Okay, whereas if you mention execute query of async of, it won't wait to complete this. Okay, it will it will start executing this line, but it won't wait for its result. It will automatically go to the next line of code. Okay, if you see, without completing this code, if you try to print it, it will throw error. Okay, that is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous. You find basic synchronous and asynchronous difference as well. And in the JavaScript object model, how we will be using synchronous and asynchronous, that we will see tomorrow's session. Okay, but you note this point. In the JavaScript object model, we can use only asynchronous model only. We can't use synchronous. Synchronous or asynchronous, in C sharp we can use either synchronous or asynchronous. Mostly we will prefer with the synchronous. Okay, that is the one. It won't confuse for developer. It will wait to complete, then next line it will automatically go, right. Or else we need to again work on whether that particular task is completed, and after completing only we need to execute those things, and all we need to manage. Okay, for execute query we don't need to manage, it will automatically complete and we'll go to the next line. Okay. Tomorrow we will see a live example like executing both the client object model and the JavaScript object model. How it runs with the client context, and how it runs with the user context. Those things and all we will. I'll show you. I'll execute and I'll show you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So for any doubt, or am I very fast or confusing?
Uh, I don't have any doubts while you're saying, and I will do some. I
Yes.
need to go through these ones.
Yeah,
So
you
after
go
that, I
through
will.
and just touch with whatever the concept I have said. So you will forget if you don't read or you go through or you use it in real time. Okay, you start
Yeah.
doing your own exercise, then only you will be familiar with it. And in the interview, you can answer like quickly. You will be once you are familiar with all these things, you don't think how to say and all. So from your
Yeah.
practical example, you can say, and the interviewer will be convinced.